hopefully baseball has learned from that. Now I know that you may want to get into this, but I know that a lot of people don't necessarily agree with how Rob Manfred is going about policing it, and that's a different story.
Well, that is actually a decent transition because I do want to get into the stuff that is happening pretty much currently. So starting this past Monday, we heard from the MLB saying that any pitcher caught using any sort of foreign substance would be ejected from the game and then given, I think, a 10-day suspension with pay. I don't believe any pitcher has been caught yet. And now we've also been seeing MLB umpires either at the end of an inning or when a pitcher is taken out of the game, randomly check these pitchers for foreign substances. Just kind of your brief opinion. Like, do you agree with what the MLB has been putting in place, or would you do anything different? Just what are your kind of initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say maybe Major League Baseball should hire me if I can figure out a better way off the top of my head. But it just seems to me that, accosting a pitcher when he comes off the mound, there's got to be a better way to go about it than that. Seems like, Jacob deGrom, you're good at baseball, so we're going to check you. Not sure that that's the way to go about it.
Even though he has low spin rate.
Well, that's the thing, and he's got low spin rate, and of course they start with him because it's like, all right, we'll start with the best, and I guess we work our way down. But do I think like, is it like we saw the other day? I think was it Sergio Romo was coming off the mound?
Yes.
In Texas, and he's like, taking his belt off and stuff like that. That part is not good for baseball. I don't think while it might, baseball is weird. Let me just put it to you this way. You never quite know what baseball is thinking here because doesn't it seem that like whenever there's a scandal in the game, that's when most people nationally are talking about baseball?
Exactly. So, that's 100% correct.
Right. So it's almost like, well, maybe this whole little incident with Sergio Romo, while people are saying that it's embarrassing for baseball itself and it is embarrassing Romo, like that video gets shared however many times online, and you and I are talking about it right here. But in the long run, I think baseball is going to run into a problem between the union and itself, which is those two sides are already not in a good place, where the union is going to say, like, stop shaking down our best players when they come off the mound. We're not going to stand for this anymore. So I think they're going to run into a problem there. But yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I honestly don't, but I can't imagine that the only way to go about it is to just be like, hey, Sergio Romo, like, drop your pants when you come off the mound, because that's literally what he did.
Here's my thing. Well, first of all, I think you're absolutely correct in that whenever there is a scandal, I even talked about this earlier, when there's a scandal, whether it's sign stealing or right now with the spider attack on pitchers, whatever, that is when the national media is on, or the spotlight is on baseball the most. And while that does help it maybe in the short run, it's not a good sign when that is when those are the times that the MLB is talked about the most. But getting back to the point at hand, while it is inconvenient, I get it. I don't really get the people who are like completely anti umpires checking pitchers when the inning is over, because it already has been documented, at least for when you listen to other national reporters talk about this. The substance thing is happening widespread throughout the league with pitchers. That's pretty much already a given fact. And while the MLB is now obviously starting to crack down on it, and that pitchers will just be stupid now to use them, you still got to check for them. And this, I feel like, is essentially, maybe it's not the best way, maybe I'm just not thinking of a better way, but obviously situations like Scherzer and Romo can't keep happening. My thing is, I feel like what they're doing now with the umpires I think it's going to calm down after maybe a week or two. I honestly think people are going to get over it. Do you feel that same way?
I agree. I mean, I think probably there needs to be some sort of, now I don't think that there's any sort of limit on like I heard, put it to you this way, Clayton Kershaw came out and said that he thinks that a team, if a team, say Joe Girardi in that whole incident with Scherzer, say the Phillies as a team or Girardi as a manager says, hey, check Scherzer and nothing is found, Kershaw believes that that there should be some sort of consequence for the team that asked the pitcher to be checked. Now, I'm not sure that is going to happen. That might be going a little too far. Like, I don't know what kind of, like, is he talking about an in-game consequence, which I don't agree that should happen, or, whatever else. But I do think that it will calm down. It's sort of like if you're a basketball fan and, at the start of the college basketball season, they say, well, we're really cracking down on, or even in the NBA, we're cracking down on traveling, right? And
Right.
So we're really going to pay attention to the way a player shuffles his feet before he takes a layup, or whatever it might be. And so in the preseason or at the start of the season, like, you see a lot more travel calls, and then people just sort of like settle back into what they used to do, So I think that I could pretty much almost guarantee that you're not going to see Max Scherzer get shaken down on the mound anymore. Like, I think MLB is gonna stop that, just because what they may do is just say we're gonna say, hey, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that there is a limit. Like, Joe Girardi could have checked Scherzer 20 times.
No, not that I know of, and I actually want to talk about that just briefly. I, for one, actually have no problem with what Kershaw said. I don't even really care what Joe Girardi did because he's following the rules. He's not breaking any sort of rule.
Yeah.
Just because there is a spotlight on obviously pitchers using substances. What he did, he might piss more people off, but managers have been calling for the umps to check pitchers since baseball started back in whatever year. So I honestly don't have a problem with what Girardi did, but do I think what Kershaw said should be implemented? I almost 100% agree, because I view it, other sports are already doing this. Whenever, like an NFL coach throws a challenge flag, if he gets it wrong, he loses a timeout. It's basically a give and take. So I honestly could see the MLB do implementing a rule sometime soon. Even more for maybe a different scenario, not just when a manager calls on the umpire to check a pitcher for a substance. Maybe when a manager loses a review, maybe something happens then. I think it's an interesting idea, one that I think shouldn't just be swept under the rug. How's it going, guys? And thank you so much for reaching into this video. If you're interested in more content, be sure to go subscribe, turn on push notifications, all that good stuff. Also, I'll leave links to my Instagram and Twitter up here above. And also, be sure to go follow the podcast. That is where the bulk of my content comes from. I upload to all the major podcast providers, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. I upload to it all. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.